Dripping light, paint the skies. Only you can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down.
Hey, welcome to the SGL Twitch channel. My name is Rydog from Timber's Army. I'll be taking over the stream tonight. We have our final upper bracket round 1 match against the Kansas City Cauldron and Steel Army. So I'm super excited to be here. Maz asked me to run the stream, so I said, why not? We're going to be getting kicked off here at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock Pacific time. 9 p.m. Eastern. Thanks again for joining us online. I'm doing the stream and the commentating, so bear with me as I kind of switch through a whole bunch of stuff. But nonetheless, we've got a really good series for you guys today. Um, yeah, let's just get right into it. So of course, I mentioned right before, right? This is the upper bracket, and that definitely implies that there is a lower bracket. So I guess we'll just show the stream, how we got here, how things kind of shook out the way they did. So now up on your screen, there's going to be two tables. On the left, we have the league play that we did, and it's a 9-week league. Everybody plays each other once, and there you had KC Cauldron. You'll see them at the top of both tables. But yeah, as we look on the left, KC Cauldron did win the league, going 8-1, only having a slip up to Emerald City Blue there in the 5th seed. And then of course, from that league table there on the left, we, as the teams were all seeded to go into part of the SGL Cup, and so you'll see there the table on the right, the SGL Cup group stage. We did a 4-round Swiss stage, which if you're not familiar with Swiss, it's basically you just play teams that have the same record as you, or pretty close to the same record as you. Of course, it's not exact with 12 teams, but nonetheless, this is how the bracket shook out. Of course, like you see KC Cauldron there taking the number 1 seed in the Swiss, followed up by Timbers Army, ECRC, and Steel Army there in the 4th seed. So how all of this was determined, of course, the top 4 seeds go into the upper bracket. The upper bracket is a double elim, so you have 2 chances. And if you're in the lower bracket, those bottom 4 teams, the seeds 5 through 8, started in the lower bracket, but they only have 1 life. And so that's why those top 4 seeds were super important going into the knockout rounds, which is of course where we are right now. And Steel Army getting the nod over all the other 2-2 teams, which basically just came down to their head-to-head wins in the Swiss stage. I'm not going to go super deep into that. If you want to go, Maz talked about it really well in a prior stream, so feel free to check that out on some of the other VODs that we have on the Supporters Gaming League Twitch. But nonetheless, they stole the 4 seed after KC Cauldron beat El Matador on the final round of Swiss. And so that means they get 2 lives. And so out of these 8 teams, I'll show you now. We'll get the bracket rolling here. And so this is what the bracket looks like. So of course you've got the teams there as we start on the left, and then of course we'll sweep over to the right as we continue. So we're still in round 1. And then this is before some of the results that have already happened. So of course we've got KC Cauldron and Steel Army, which is the match you will see tonight. Timbers Army played Emerald City RC, the 2 versus the 3 seed. And Emerald City RC took that one in a sweep. And it was actually a perfect sweep, if I'm not mistaken. All the games were, or I guess, I'm trying to remember. Game 1 was 1-0, Game 2 was 2-0, and Game 3 was 1-0. So it was very close. So, of course, on paper, it goes down as a perfect sweep, and a sweep in general. But the match is maybe not played out like that. So Emerald City RC will be moving on to play the winner of tonight's match, KC Cauldron versus Steel Army. And Timbers Army, my own team, will be there in that little 5 slot. And we will play the winner of the Rebellion and EC Blue, which is going to be played out tomorrow. So definitely you're going to want to tune in tomorrow for that match. And of course, rounding out the round 1 matches, we had El Matador and Locals play a back and forth. It could go down as one of the best series, if not the best series of the entire season earlier in the week. And it was locals who ended up taking that one in 5. So, as things stand now, as a brief recap, we have Emerald City RC in the winners final, awaiting the winner of this match tonight. We have Timbers Army waiting for the Rebellion Emerald City Blue match that kicks off tomorrow night. And then the loser of the match tonight will face the locals in losers round 2. So lots of stuff going on in the SGL bracket mode. But nonetheless, these games have been absolutely crazy. And of course, my Discord decides to break as we get into these items. So, we are going to get everybody in the lobby. And we are going to get going. So we'll get everybody in there. And there we go. So yeah, this match tonight, just doing a little bit of a preview. These teams met in week 9. It was the last week of the regular season, and KC Cauldron did take it in a sweep. And if you are new to the SGL channel, or, it's been a while, welcome back, first of all. Second of all, KC Cauldron is, and not just from the tables you saw earlier, but they are the best team in the league. Of course, EC Blue being the only team to stop them thus far in the league campaign. But since then, it's just been all KC all the time. Some teams have gotten close. Emerald City RC took them to 5 in what was an absolutely thrilling match in, I think that was round 2 of the Swiss stage in the SGL Cup. So teams have gotten close, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, as they say. And of course, you can't discount Steel Army. They had a really good league campaign. I think I think they finished 6th, but the 3rd through 7th slots were off by like 4 points. I think each team was like 1 or 2 points behind the other, and so definitely a quality side. I'm gonna give a special shout out to Debit Counting Gang for life. So they gotta for Steel Army to stay in this game. They definitely gotta get Debit freed up, get him out of the spreadsheets and onto the pitch, as they say. And once again, Steel Army grabbing the 4th seed after a really crazy Swiss round 4 stage. After some tiebreakers and some other results that happened, Steel Army took the 4 seed away from a whole bunch of those 2-2 teams, as we saw in the brackets earlier. And so super exciting there. So we're getting ready for kickoff. We're just making sure everybody gets in the lobby okay. And then let me just do this, and let me do that, and then we are going to do this because we are going to get ready for kickoff. Let me know if I need to turn up the audio or anything. All right, we're just getting the more announcements. Getting some more people in here. But once again, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm super excited to kind of run things here and try and do my best commentating as well while running the stream. So, like I said, we're gonna get into this shortly. I think, can the game just like pull up? I don't know why it's not like pulling up here. There we go. Should be joining shortly. My man Debit's going to be posting some announcements. Lovely. I can't type, so that's unfortunate. And then once Debit gives me the A-OK, then we are going to get rolling. Officially here, teams are going to join. I'm going to hit spectate. And here we go. Let me know if you can't hear anything or any sorts of that stuff. But here we go. Game 1 underway. And we're starting with Steel Army on the attack. I think the boost game is going to be super important for any team going against KC. You want to have enough boost to challenge early, and you want to disrupt them as much as you can. Thorngold's going to pop this up to Smitty. Smitty's going to go for a corner read and gets it, but Debit does clear it out. And we see a new iteration. Oh, as Smitty's going to get this one. It's not going to go in. It's a good save from Bear Blitz, but it's another iteration of this SKC lineup that, you know, it's interesting to see. Is Smitty's going to get another shot here for KC, but oh, is Funch is going to miss this. It's going to allow a shot from Bear Blitz, and Steel Army is going to start us off 1-0 just over a minute in. It was a unfortunate miss for Funch, and Bear Blitz says thank you very much. And so Steel Army are taking the lead in game 1. Like I was saying, this is another KC roster that we haven't, or at least I haven't seen in a while. The thing about KC is they very, very much have 4 or 5 really good players on their roster. That ball's going to pinch out for a clear. And so it's interesting to see as KC, once again, kind of on the back foot here to start off. They need to definitely get their feet under them a little bit. As Debit's going to go off the left wall. He's going to get a flip. Is anybody up? It's going to be Thorngold with the save, but this is a really good start if you're a Steel Army fan. The rotations have been solid so far. Nothing super threatening from KC. That's the way you kind of like it, but just as I say that, classic commentator's curse, Smitty is going to get on the end of a beautiful pass from Funch. Nothing the Steel Army defense can do about that, and we're going to be back on level terms. So it's a good response from KC. As they went down early, and they're back on the attack again. Debit's got to get up to this. He challenges, but it's not going to go in the end. So once again, here you see Steel Army with no boost, trying to play this out, and of course you're going to see KC with a lot of boost going for these solo plays. That's what they're so known for. What's crazy is that any one of them can pop off at any given time. Here comes Funch after the fake from Smitty. It's not gonna result in a shot on target. As Red 4 from Steel Army is gonna get them back down the other end, and here comes Debit again as well. Bear Blitz using that dominance and getting a really big flip. Smitty with not a great clear. It's gonna Red 4 moves in and actually fakes 2 defenders. So Debit's gonna keep this in on his side, and there's a demo on the back line, which is gonna allow space to open up for KC. Thorngold into Smitty. Smitty, can he get another touch? He can. It's not going to be on target. Debit races back in time, and he's going to get a big clear behind Funch. That's not going to be on target, but Funch gets spun around. Not sure what happened there. Debit's going to capitalize. Let's see what happened to Funch here. Oh, Funch tried a half flip and just couldn't get around it in time, and Debit is going to get the lead back from Steel Army. So a little bit of sloppiness from KC to start off. Maybe just a little bit of nerves settling in here. Of course, if you're Steel Army, you have nothing to lose, right? 4 seed. everyone's kind of expecting you to lose this match. So teams with that a little bit of added motivation always seem to do a little bit better. So there's going to be a double commit from Steel Army. It's not going to amount to anything at the moment. And of course, as I say that, Thorn Gold is going to mop up the mess that Smitty created. Smitty going solo off the sidewall. Ended up faking the shot and ended up bumping Red 4, which kind of just cleared the path for Thorn Gold. So the leads right now for Steel Army are just not lasting very long, which is, of course, not what you want. This Bear Blitz is going to beat Smitty out to this one. He's going to get the attack started again for Steel Army, but these third-man demos from coming in from KC as well are super, super dangerous. It's just leaving Steel Army just in a heap of hurt right now as Thorn Gold once again combining with Funch and beating out Bear Blitz and Debit to the near post. So KC take their first lead of game one and of course the series as well. But back and forth affair to start. As Debit's going to play this across to Red 4. Is going to beat out Smitty. Here comes Debit again, and not too much longer as Thorn Gold's going to take him out of the game. And we have a Rule 1 between Funch and Bear Blitz. That's going to be huge in the grand scheme of things. Smitty is trying for a bump, but the Steel Army defense holding strong. Here comes Debit. Oh, it's a misflip from Debit. It's going to give the ball right back to Smitty, but see how either team responds with a temporary 2v2, but respect to them for playing out the Rule 1 as Thorn Gold's going to get a huge demo on the back line. It's going to get an assist from the players in the Rule 1, but with 20 seconds left, Smitty with another demo. That may be huge in the grand scheme of things as Red 4 is going to get a bump. Debit's going to come in. Both KC players are sitting on the back line, and Debit is going to sneak that one home. Thorn Gold thought he had it. And it ends up being just a free shot. Oh, Thorn Gold was just a little bit late. He didn't have the boost. I'm not sure why Smitty didn't take over there. He had plenty of boost behind him. Nonetheless, we are tied in game one with 12 seconds left. Debit and Smitty are going to go up. Who's going to win this one? It's going to be a 50 out in the midfield. Thorn Gold's hunting for more demos. He's not going to connect anything. Funch is going to play this over to Smitty. Smitty back into the middle. It's going to drop, and we have a game one overtime. Which is, I think, the last thing that every team would expect is Debit plays a fantastic touch off the kickoff. Once again, he's going to follow this up. There's nobody home for KC. Red 4 is going to come in after the fake from Debit. Bear Blitz, can he get on the end of this? He can. It's going to be a shot. It's going to be in from Bear Blitz. And Steel Army, against all odds, after the double commit from Funch and Smitty, are going to take game one. Wow, what a game that is. What a game that is. Back and forth affair. Once again, it was really, really clean from Steel Army. KC Cauldron just trying to work out the kinks a little bit. As they did have a good offensive performance, KC. Of course, they had 11 shots to their name to the 6 of Steel Army, but you just got to make them count at the end of the day. So we're going to switch maps. While I remember, we're going to go to Forbidden Temple. But this is exactly what you want from Steel Army, right? You want these good clears, right? If you look at the scoreboard, right? You're seeing Thor and Golden Smitty kind of near the top, and if you can take those out, you should be good to go. I need to give these guys the word to join up. Okay, good. Yep, you guys are good. And we are going to get back into the game. I'm going to hit spectate. And here we go for game 2. So once again, against all odds. And of course, the barrel is not working. Let me fix that real quick. Oh. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. But nonetheless, Steel Army are up in game 1. Or did take game 1 and are up 1-0 in the series. Like I said, it says that they have one game. But I don't know why it's not showing up. But we won't worry about that. I'll just keep saying it over and over again. Once again, it's good 50 from Debit. And these early challenges from Steel Army are going to be proven crucial. As Bearblitz is going to get a demo on Thorngold. It's allowed Debit to come in. Can he get it? It's going to be off the post. And Smitty down the other end. I think that's wide as well. It is. It's going to go up. Smitty read that perfectly and is up. Thorngold, however, doesn't put it on target. Funch with a good clear and a good demo. It's going to allow KC to stay on attack. Thorngold gets that dominance around. Doesn't get it on target, though, in the end, as Thorngold, once again, keeping this in the orange half, but Smitty was out of boost and couldn't follow it up. But these big, long clears away from KC are super important for Steel Army, and that's how they're staying in this game. Smitty's going to get that one. It's going to be a slow roller on target. He's going to follow it up, and KC are going to take the lead in game 2. Smitty with a really good midfield challenge, and then, of course, with the racing Steel Army players back, they just couldn't quite get there. So Smitty opening the game 2 account for KC Cauldron. Red 4 is going to play it by 2. Can he follow this up? I don't think he's following it up. Debit's going to come in and challenge. This ball in the blue half for now. As there's a double commit coming out from Steel Army. We'll see what happens here as Debit races to the midfield boost and is going to trail back. Funch is going to play this over to Smitty. Smitty smartly waits and allow Debit to come in. I think if you're Steel Army right now, though, you're in a really comfortable spot. You're not given... There's not a lot of dangerous chances, I would say, from KC. Of course, they have been scoring their chances that they do get, but they're limiting the amount of, we'll call them scary chances, if you will. We all know how good KC can be. And Debit, that was not the right flick. It's going to be a double commit out, but it's going to leave the net open, and Debit's going to hit the post again. That's 2 for Debit that he's going to want back. It's quite unfortunate. Airblitz is going to take this off the left wall. I'm going to find a bump on Smitty. Red 4 is going to go up and kind of fake everybody. It's going to leave the rest of Steel Army in a really awkward spot as Thorngold's going to play this in the middle. Smitty, can he get around this? He can't. Bearblitz is going to play this to the side, and he's going to pick up mid-boost with no challenge, which means he has a free ball. It's going to play it to the backboard. Debit, I think, went for a bump. It's going to allow Red 4 to come in and get another bump, but that clear from Smitty is going to bounce right over everybody. But luckily for Steel Army, Bearblitz was back in time. Really liking the physical play coming out. Can Debit follow this? He can! What a play from Debit on the right-hand wall. Thorngold cleared it right to him, and Debit with a little bouncer had to get back to that to send it underneath the crossbar, and does. What a beautiful shot from Debit. We are tied in game 2. Punch is going to play this over to Thorngold. Bit clears. Let's see if KC can kind of get their attacks going. They just look a little slow, if I'm honest. We know them to be so fast and those things, and right now they're just not playing up to the KC that we know and that we love. Smitty taking it from his own corner. He doesn't get the hit he wants either. Debit's going to come in. It's going to be a double commit from Funch and Thorngold. A bit of miscommunication coming out from KC on the back line is Smitty's going to get a really big clear. Bearblitz is going to be super awkward in this. It's Funch is going to get a demo, but Bearblitz being very, very patient. Is going to flick over one, but not by Smitty, who was last man. As Debit is going to play this up to Bearblitz. Bearblitz has boost. He's going to play it across. Can Debit follow this? He can't. It's going to force a jump out of Smitty, though. And that miss from Thorngold is actually going to leave Funch in a really awkward situation. And luckily, Funch does really well there. But it's really weird. We're used to seeing KC with these solo plays. And we just haven't really seen him. As Smitty gets a really good 50 on Debit. This ball's just hanging around the blue end. Thorngold goals, and it's a really good clear from Bearblitz in the end. As Debit has an opportunity to steal game 2, but he didn't have the boost. Bearblitz is going to keep it in. Is there anybody up? It's going to be red 4. They're going to pinch it out. And Smitty is actually going to play this to the middle. I'm not sure why he did that. We're going to keep this up here as that ball's just going to hang up in the air. Funch is going to play it into the middle. It's finally going to drop, and that's a really, really scary play for KC Cauldron. Going into overtime. Steel Army playing super, super well as Thorngold is going to jump for this again. It's going to be on target, and oh no, Debit. Debit with the backflip. Rocket League player's worst nightmare. And KC Cauldron are going to battle back in game 2. What a series this is turning out to be. This is unbelievable. I think a lot of us, SGL community, probably thought KC Cauldron were going to come in here and set the tone and really just go from there, but nonetheless, Steel Army have played an absolute excellent series. So credit to them. But nonetheless, it's going to be one mistake, unfortunately, on the back line that is going to give KC Cauldron the win. And a lot tamer of a game that was battled out in the midfield. A lot of less shots for both teams coming out in the end. But like I said, it's going to be KC Cauldron taking game 2. We'll see if we see any subs coming out from either side. As we get into, I just realized that I have to do that, I think. There we go. Yeah. As we get into game 3, knotted at 1 apiece, I don't think anybody thought this was going to happen. Here we go. Nonetheless, like I said, credit to Steel Army. I think they get discounted quite a bit, I think, as the double commit's going to come out. Smitty's going to try and wave dash, keep the offense going. It's not going to be able to. His Debit's going to clear to red 4. Red 4's there. Can he paint the top corner? He can't. It was a really good play from Debit and a really good shot from red 4. Unfortunately, it's just going to go a little bit wide in the end. Once again, Steel Army, though, I think people discount them all too much. They're a really, really solid team, and when they're clicking like they are right now, they can play with anybody in the league. As that's going to be a mistouch from Steel Army. We'll see what happens here for KC on the attack. Smitty's not going to get the touch he wants, and it's actually going to force Thorngold back as Debit's going to move forward. Which is going to be a weak shot in the end from him. Nonetheless, this game 3 is very similar to game 2. Very cagey. Nobody really wanting to super commit as Bearblitz is going to get a shot. It's going to go wide. Funch is going to follow this up right to red 4, though. And Debit's going to come out on the attack, and Thorngold with a huge save. He was backwards. Didn't want to move. He was super awkward. But right now, the pressure coming from Steel Army and making some mid-game adjustments. But here comes Smitty. He's the player that you don't want on the ball with full boost. It's going to be a really good save from Debit in the end. As we continue now down into the blue half. Smitty, here he comes again. He's going to get the full boost in the corner and air dribble it out right into Debit. So now Funch is going to come in and continue the attack for KC. Here comes Thorn Gold. Not enough boost to do anything with that. Smitty's going to challenge Debit. That ball's going to go right into the middle. But Bear Blitz is there and will clear it out. Thorn Gold plays this very, very well. Ends up getting the ball and dodging the demo. And getting a 50 down the other end. Can he get a demo? He can. Bear Blitz is off the field, which means Red 4 and Debit are going to have to combine. And Debit actually does it all himself. Once again, Bear Blitz is winning these midfield challenges that with that big dominus. It's allowing Steel Army to get the clears they want. As Debit is going to play that one. That's 3 from him. I'm not keeping track. I mean, I am keeping track. That's 3 off the post from Debit that he's probably going to want back. So that one will hit the crossbar this time as Funch is going to play this out. It's going to be, we'll call it a fake in the end, as Thorn Gold once again is going to continue to attack forward, but with no boost. Debit, unfortunately, is going to play it right to Smitty. Smitty over to Thorn Gold in the corner. He's going to play it off the backboard. Is anybody there? It's Smitty, but the ball's going to go wide in the end. As this game continues to be a stalemate just under the 2-minute mark. Here comes Debit again. He's going to get a shot. It's going to go by 1, but Smitty was prepared this time. Thorngold's going to play this up to Smitty, who plays it off the backboard. Can Red 4 get a touch? He can. It's a really key touch in the end. As Funch and Bear Blitz both go for that. Nobody's actually going to hit it in the end. This ball's just going to kind of hang out at the midfield. Thorngold and Smitty combined. The dynamic duo. It's going to be a really weird shot from Thorngold, and unfortunately it smacked the post and hit Bear Blitz right in the nose. And unfortunately that means it's going to go right into his own net. So it's a mistake from Steel Army. That's going to lead to KC's lead late in Game 3. And of course you remember Game 2 went to overtime, and unfortunately KC won off of a mistake coming out from Debit. It was just a backflip in the end, as Smitty is going to get it over 1, but Debit races back in time. As Bear Blitz gets a really good clear. It's going to be a double commit from Debit and Red 4, but it's not going to lead to anything immediate for KC, as here comes Smitty slowing the game down, letting Steel Army come to them. As these are the challenges you want in midfield. As here comes Debit on the left-hand side. He's going to get a flick across, and Thorngold is going to clear this out. Here comes Bear Blitz. Doesn't get the touch he wants, and once again, this ball is just hanging out here in the blue half. Debit's going to go, and Smitty's going to beat him, which means Bear Blitz is kind of in an awkward spot. He's going to do really well in the end and control it out into the corner, but with 20 seconds left, and Steel Army are going to have to go now, as that ball is going to go really over everybody. Bear Blitz probably should have gone for a demo there on Smitty on the last man. Debit, here he comes again. It's going to be a double commit on the line, but it's not going to lead to anything in the end for Steel Army, but they have to go, and they have to do it in the air. Here comes Funch. He's going to get a ball up as there's some bumps coming out. Debit's going to do very well and keep this up. Smitty's going to play this to the backboard. Funch, can he get there? He can, and this ball's going to stay up for the meantime. But KC Cauldron, at the end of the day, are going to take Game 3, and they're going to sit on match point. What a series this is turning out to be. And I think this is against a lot of our expectations coming out. I think Steel Army are playing this to perfection. They're getting Debit has 7 shots. It's just they just can't capitalize on their opportunities. And of course, we all know about KC. They love to absolutely capitalize on opponent mistakes, and of course they do that there with Thorngold and the own goal, unfortunately, from Bear Blitz. So I need to switch stadiums. We're going to Utopia Coliseum Dust. Let's see if I can get there in time. There we go. But yeah, it's a really back and forth. So this is, I think, against all odds, like I was saying. Because I think we think that KC Cauldron will just kind of do their solo plays and really take control of this series. But credit to Steel Army once again. They've been showing up and balling out. But once again, their backs are against the wall as I'm going to put on the barrel and make sure that we have the right score on the overlay. We do. Here we go. And once again, we're going to start out with Steel Army on the attack first. There's just going to be a bump and a double commit that's coming out. Again, this ball's just going to hang out in the midfield. Here comes Debit again. He's going to get the double onto the back ball, but it's going to be a team clear from Thorngold and Smitty. As Smitty is going to fake this out and leave this for Funch. Funch has to get a touch on it. He actually ends up hitting it into Smitty. Once again, nothing doing for either team so far. As there was a demo, Bear Blitz went for an attacking demo. I'm not sure what the choice was there, but it's not going to amount to anything as here comes Red Forest trying to got it over one, couldn't get it over two though. Thorngold's going to try and follow this up, but here comes Funch now, playing it off the backboard. I don't know if anybody's up. It's going to be a double commit and a demo, but Debit races back in time, and so no immediate threat for KC, but these attacks from KC are starting to become more and more dangerous as this series goes on. We'll say Debit is doing a really good job of challenging everybody in the midfield. As this ball is just going to kind of hang out. Debit's actually going to challenge. It's not going to amount to anything either. So right now we're kind of going a little bit of back and forth action as Thorngold's going to play this to the side to the side for himself. But we really have a midfield battle, and credit to Steel Army once again. They are absolutely battling in the midfield and not allowing KC Cauldron kind of do what they want. Typically that's how they play teams, is they just bully their way through. Just kind of take control from there and make you be scared. But credit to Steel Army for not being scared. They're taking it to them. Once again, this ball is going to be awkward for Bear Blitz. He's going to get a good touch, and it's going to force Debit to clear for him. And Thorngold with the missed wave dash is going to allow Bear Blitz to come in. It's not the touch he wants in the end. Red 4 has to get a good 50 and does. Funch is going to play this one. Was on target, but not close enough for a shot. And of course, if you're a Kansas City fan, you want to do this in 4. You do not want this to go to 5 and give Steel Army another chance with the momentum. As Bear Blitz gets a nice half volley clear out to the side. Once again, though, those demos from Bear Blitz are becoming a problem from KC. KC are very much a team that like to dribble and get that first touch right to themselves. And then they kind of go from there, but once again, Steel Army just bumping and demoing and just kind of getting in the way. Just like there, Smitty wanted to control that himself, but Debit was right there to challenge. As Red 4, oh, unfortunately he's going to miss. Smitty is going to go for a demo instead of the shot. Here comes Smitty again. It's going to be a race with Bear Blitz. Bear Blitz is going to win that. It's going to be an awkward bounce for Red 4. Bear Blitz is going to rescue him out in the end, but once again, this game is very cagey. Back and forth we go. As Bear Blitz, oh no, he's going to clear it off the side. Debit gets a really good clear, and now it's just Funch left on the side. We'll see what he can do on the defensive end, and the fake ends up working out in the end, and the 50 is going to slow down the attack for Steel Army as this ball's just kind of hanging out in the midfield, and Thorngold's going to have to just scramble back. As there's going to be a double commit, and is this net open? It's not. Funch is back, and KC race back. They can, but it's super, super awkward. As here comes Debit. He's going to play it to the backboards himself. Funch coming in really clutch with these defensive clears for KC. Funch, he's next one up. He's going to pop this up. I'm assuming... Oh, Smitty stays on the ground. Debit was fast to get up there. But Smitty's patience is going to allow him to continue the attack, but not for long. I'm inclined to say that this is going to be a one-goal game. Whoever scores first is going to be the victor. As here comes Red 4. He's going to play this across Smitty with a really good clear. It's going to allow Bear Blitz to come in. That shot's going to go high and wide, and Smitty with a huge clear to the side. Can Debit follow up his touch? He can. He's going to play it in the middle, but Thorngold is going to play it through the midfield. And so both teams 0-0. We're going to a game 4 overtime unless Bear Blitz has something to say about that right now. He's going to play it into Debit. Debit, oh, didn't get the shot he wanted, and that ball's going to drop. And we have a 0-0 overtime in game 4. If Steel Army score, we go to a game 5. We go to everybody's favorite champion field. But if KC score, it's over. And Thorn Gold is going to beat out Red 4. And it looked like that ball went through him. And that is really, really unfortunate. So KC Cauldron are going to take the series 3-2-1 as I update my score graphic and transition. There we go. What a series from both teams. You got to give credit to Steel Army. They came out and fought hard. I think everybody thought that this was going to be a goal fest from KC, just offensive shootout, but it was exactly the opposite. Of course, that first game where Steel Army won, I think it was 4-3. But ever since then, they were really, really cagey games. And I think that played into Steel Army's playstyle. Right? They're a very defensive team, very organized team. But nonetheless, KC just overpowered that in the end. And so it is going to be KC taking this one. What a series this has been. I'm speechless because this goes exactly like I said against what I thought this was going to be. But maybe let's go over the implications of what this match means. As we bring up the bracket again. We mentioned before, KC Cauldron are going to face Emerald City RC in that winner's final. That means Steel Army are going to drop down into that losers round 2. And are going to play the locals in the next round, which once again is also a very hard match to call. Especially with how well locals have been playing and coming off that game 5 crazy series against El Matador. And of course, Steel Army, you have to have your heads held high after this one. You battled with the #1 team in the league, the undisputed #1 team in the league. And fought them hard into really, really close games throughout the entire series. If I'm not mistaken, all of them were 1-goal games, so absolutely incredible. And I think that is gonna do it for our stream. If I had a helper be, I would absolutely ask for interviews, but like I said, I am doing this off the seat of my pants here. So thank you everybody for tuning in today. Once again, on the screen we have our next rounds almost finalized. Of course, we have the winners finalized. We have KC Cauldron and Emerald City RC, a classic that is a rematch from a crazy series from Swiss round 2, or was it Swiss round 3? I think it was actually Swiss round 3 that went to 5, and I think it went to 4. It was game 4 overtime, and the overtime went like 5-6 minutes or something. So basically 5 games. And then of course in that losers round 2, we have Steel Army not out yet. They play locals, and Rebellion are going to play Emerald City Blue tomorrow here on the SGL channel. That one is scheduled to kick off at 10:15 Eastern time, 7:15 Pacific time. Of course, on our coverage on SGL will start at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern time. And so, what a crazy series this is. But once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We had an absolute crazy series, really up against a lot of things here. And of course, feel free to tune in tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern, for our final round 1 match, Rebellion and EC Blue. Super excited to be finishing round 1 here very soon. But thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next time.